Hello, welcome to a Not So Awesome Review, and today we're looking at Fantastic Four, issue number 1, Legacy number 646, if I believe. Yeah, 646, and I'm glad that they've been doing that with these Marvel issues. If you guys didn't know, I think I mentioned this in the Spider-Man issue, that when Marvel does a new number 1 now, I should say, they are giving it the old numbering. So, although this is issue number 1, in the grand scheme of things, compiling every issue of Fantastic Four together, this is actually number 646, which is a good idea. It kind of helps me with my OCD of numbering and keeping things in order and, getting attention of new readers and knowing where to start fresh. Now, this first issue is written by Dan Slott, who I believe is going to be writing the series from now on for I don't know how long, and I'm both excited about it and nervous because I like Spider-Man. I know a lot of people didn't, but I liked his run on Spider-Man. His Iron Man, not so much. And it's not because it was bad writing or anything, it's just that Iron Man was working with a team and I didn't like it. And I might have talked about that in a certain video, I don't know. I don't think I did a full-on review on it, but yeah, I didn't end up picking up issue number 2. Now, Fantastic Four, I will definitely pick up issue number 2 because I'm curious. I liked it. It was a good issue. Was it $5.99 good? Because that's how much this issue will cost you. I don't know. Do we get a lot of stuff? We get a good amount of stuff. In the beginning, we get like a dedication to Steve Ditko, which I don't know if that's on every Marvel issue this month, this week, or not, because I haven't actually opened up another Marvel comic in about 3 weeks. So I'm not sure. I'll probably find out in a little bit after filming this. The dedication was pretty good. It was nice. You can read through it if you want. Then we get into the issue, and I do like where the story is going, but I do have some questions leading into it. Now, without getting too far into spoilers, the whole premise here is that Sue and Richard and their children have been missing ever since the end of Secret War. They've actually been gone. No one knows kind of what happened to them, kind of. I'm saying kind of because we're getting kind of like some information that maybe something might have happened while the Fantastic Four were out, including with Ben and Johnny. Though, I don't know, it's so weird because I was under the impression, and this isn't so much of a spoiler, but yeah, I don't know, someone might consider it. At the end of Secret War, or Secret Wars, I should say, the whole entire Richards family kind of stayed behind to remake the universe, and in my mind, that's where they've been for these last few years. That was the last time we've actually had Richard and Sue and the children all in a comic book from Marvel, was at the end of Secret Wars. So my understanding is that's where they are, though they kind of make it sound like they might have gone somewhere else or disappeared somewhere else. I don't really know, and I don't know, it's a little frustrating because I really want to know, but I guess we'll get into that maybe in the later issues or something. The thing here is, and this is going to lead into spoilers, so before I get into that, the art was alright. Not my favorite. Definitely don't expect what you see in the cover here because this is the variant, and the variant is just amazing. The art in it is alright. I'm not a big fan of it, but I think it suited the comic book really well. The writing and the exchanges, especially between Johnny and the Thing, and a certain part near the end, which I'll discuss in a bit, was really good. So the writing's really good. The story's intriguing enough that I want to know what's happening. I want to know what's going on. There is a backup story in the back for Victor Von Doom, which again was actually really interesting. I'm not usually a fan of backup stories like the Power Ranger Boom comics. I'm not a fan of the whole Bulk and Skull issues in the back, but this actually, I read through all of it and I loved it. So would I recommend it if you're a Fantastic Four fan? Yeah. Is it worth $5? $5.99? $6? Maybe, and I'll get into that at the end of the video here, and that's going to be a huge rant because I do have one major gripe, and it's not even about the writing or the art. I'll talk about that in a bit, don't worry about it. So again, spoilers coming up right now, just in case you're wondering. So basically what we have here is we don't have a reunion of everybody, which I think was good. I am so glad that we didn't have kind of what happened in Spider-Man number 1 with Mary Jane and Peter at the end of it kind of getting together. Even though I haven't read issue 2 or 3 yet, I have them. I will. But I didn't like that ending. It was too rushed to me. This was paced so much better. We have them kind of doing their own thing. We're seeing where their lives are at the moment. We've been seeing Johnny and the Thing throughout since Secret Wars ended. I mean, we've seen Johnny in plenty of issues of Spider-Man when he sold the Baxter building to Peter, and Peter ended up losing it when his company went bankrupt. So we have seen them around, and we've seen Johnny just saying, how he's waiting for them to return. He knows they're going to return, but Ben doesn't think so. He thinks they're gone and he wants to move on with his life. And after an incident where they thought they were back, or at least Johnny did, Ben didn't so much. Ben decides it's time to tie the knot and marry his girlfriend, which he proposes to her. And when he invites Johnny to kind of come and celebrate with him and asks him to be his best man, he kind of blows up in his face, freaks out. And it's a really good scene. Just between them, the way they were acting, the way they're talking to each other, you see the actual emotion in the characters of them missing their friends, their family, and it was done really well. I wish it had lasted a couple more pages to bring out the drama, but it does, lead into kind of a sign from Reed that yes, they are still alive. Now, it looks like they're off somewhere, we don't know where, and they'll probably be coming back, or I would assume be the main focus of the next issue. If it is how I'm thinking Dan Slott's gonna wait and they won't have an actual reunion until issue 3 or 4, which would be good. I'm hoping that that's the pace they're going for because I don't like it when things are rushed. So, so far so good, enjoying it. Victor Von Doom's story, I don't know what's happened with Von Doom or Lavatar or anything there, but it looks like somebody else took over and somebody breaks into Doom's castle and asks for help in taking back his country, and it ended on a semi-cliffhanger where it looked like he was about to take over, or take out, I should say, the military that's kind of suppressing them at the moment, which is kind of funny because he suppresses them too, but they love him, so kind of funny to see that. It looks interesting. I liked it. It wasn't bad. I read through it, and it was alright. The main story is where it was good. It starts off a little bit slow, in my opinion, showing their lives and everything. It's good. It sets a foundation for the characters. We know that this is their new normal, and we see them coping with life and everything, and coping with how they miss again Reed and Sue and the kids and everybody. So it was really good in that front. I think the pacing is good. The writing, again, the dialogue was on track. I liked it. It was done really well. The art, like I said, not my favorites, but it doesn't detract me from wanting to get the next issue. It's really rare that I'll say I hate the art. That I don't like it and I don't want to read a comic book because of the art. I think the only time that's ever happened was with the clickbait that was Thunderbolts from back in the day, because those covers, they were so good, but then you open it and the art, man, no. It was a clickbait of comic book proportions, and I was not a fan of that at all. So, is it worth $5.99? Man, so I have a small rant for this because normally I would say yes. I would say that, reading this book, I do feel like I got my $5.99, my $6 out of it. It was good. I liked it. It was a good reintroduction to what's been going on. If you haven't read Fantastic Four, which you haven't read Fantastic Four in the last, 3 years, because there hasn't been Fantastic Four in 3 years, you wouldn't know what's going on and stuff. They did a good job at kind of setting that up, getting information out for newer readers and people who are interested. So yeah, I do feel like it was worth the money, but this is my main gripe. As you see, I got the variant cover with Sue on it. I think the cover looks beautiful. I mean, that is some really good art. They did a few other variants. There's the main cover, which I actually didn't see. That was the only one I didn't see on my store, so I don't even know what that one looks like. There was a Scotty Young variant. Looks good. My friend picked that one up. There was a blank sketch variant, which, people love getting those for conventions. Then there was this one. Then right next to it, there was the Johnny Storm one. Looked amazing. Just same artist. Next to that, the Reed Richards one. Again, looked amazing. Next to that one, the Ben one. Looked freaking good. My question here is, what the heck, Marvel? Why release all 4 of these variants on issue number 1? They are really nice. I really want all of them, but I'm not paying $5.99 for all 4 of these. And I feel like that's where the Marvel, I would say, marketing team kind of annoys me, because they know for a fact Fantastic Four fans, hardcore Fantastic Four fans, are going to want all 4 of those covers. I want them, and I'm not even a super big Fantastic Four hardcore person. I do like them. I've enjoyed the, reading it before. I do have the omnibus. I don't think you guys can see it in frame, but the first volume omnibus, and I do intend on getting the other ones. The thing is, like I said, I'm just a casual fan. So think about all those people who really like those covers, who really wanted them. I wanted them. $6 each. All issue number 1. Now, this isn't the first time Marvel's done something like this. If you remember back in the day, X-Men issue number 1 was about 5 different covers, and it made some really long gated cover that looked really nice. But when you think about it, why are you doing that all in issue number 1? And I know that they haven't done this every single time. With the Marvel Now, I believe it was Avengers or Uncanny Avengers, they did do a long cover again, but that was issue number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4. You had to buy all the variants, and it made a nice connecting cover. So why aren't you doing something similar to that? I'm not saying I want the covers to connect or anything, but why release all 4 characters in issue number 1, except for one thing? One thing obvious they are doing. They want the issue to sell good, which I can't blame them, so they release all 4 variants, so your average Joe or your hardcore fan will be like, you know what, I need all 4 of these, and they're spending, money on 4 copies on Fantastic Four number 1, which kind of increases the sales. Now, that's good for them, but bad for us, because who has the money to spend on 4 covers of Fantastic Four for $6? That is ridiculous. I don't understand why issue number 1 wasn't Sue or Richard. Richard would have made more sense to me. Just, I feel like, he's leader. But anybody, made Sue number 1, Richard number 2, Johnny number 3, Ben number 4. I would have done that. I would have loved it. I would have gone them all one by one and look at those covers. They look so good together. Issue 1 through 4, great variants. DC just did this with Scott Snyder's Justice League. They did Batman, Wonder Woman, Hawkgirl, and I don't know who else. There might have been Superman one in there. I don't remember. I'm not a fan of Justice League by Scott Snyder. That's another thing, but I'm not even going to get into that. But those covers looked all amazing. The art on those covers are freaking fantastic and make me want to pick them up just because of that. I picked up the issue with Wonder Woman's cover. I think it was issue number 4 or something, just because of that, because of how amazing it looked. And when I found out they did other ones, even though I didn't so much enjoy the story and the writing, I was still like, you know what, I might go back and get those because the covers are so good. Now, if it was the same issue, I would be like, no, I'm not doing it. I didn't like it enough, and it's just a waste. But here we have Marvel doing the exact opposite. Let's release all 4 of these cover in issue number 1. Now, don't get me wrong. If they did variants where, like Spider-Man, with Spider-Man 700, we had, I don't know how many variants. I bought into copies of that. But the thing there is, it's different artists. It's, an artist for the main cover, an artist for variant number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5. Same thing with Action Comics number 1000, a whole bunch of different colors, all variants. So I'm okay with that. I'm fine. Bring on the variants. Bring on a whole bunch of variants. Give me options to pick from. I love that. Make them all by different artists. Make them all different and unique in their own way. Don't release 4 covers that have the same artist that with, one character profile in each and make them all issue number 1. Why would you not do that as issue number 1, 2, 3, and 4? If you did that exactly for the reason I've been saying, so that people will go out and buy 4 copies of issue number 1. And it'll blow up your sales a little bit. I can't get behind that marketing strategy. Now, am I not going to get issue number 1 because of that? No, of course not. I'm going to pick it up. Am I going to get the other 3 covers? Probably not. I want them. I would think about it, but at this rate, knowing the industry, knowing resellers, they will probably end up going up in price, and I won't pay reseller prices for covers. Especially, Marvel's not even making money at that point. That's somebody else making money off of Marvel's kind of, I wouldn't say mistake, but their attempt of making money. So that's pretty much my rant on that. Fantastic Four, is it good? Is it worth it? Yes, definitely. I loved it. Pick it up. Is it worth buying 4 times? That's for you to decide. Again, I can't really get behind that kind of marketing strategy. Did I like all 4 covers? Yeah, I love them, but that's not a good way to sell to the fans. You're kind of just, I don't know, oversaturating the market with issue number 1s, which I don't care about. I don't care. This thing could go down to like $2 in the resale value later on in like the next few years. I honestly don't care. It's the fact that you want us to buy 4 covers. No one's forcing you. I understand that, but let's be honest. People are going to want it. People are going to do it. It's going to inflate the prices, or show that they sold more than they did. And, yeah, not really much else to say here. Share your thoughts and opinions on it. Did you get 1 cover? Did you not pick it up the book? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Or you can get all 4 covers. Do you disagree? Do you think it was great to have them all 4 at once and not have to go out and buy, risk not finding issue 2 and 3 and 4 later in the future. Let me know. Feel free to agree to disagree. Just be kind and courteous in the comments down below, I suppose, I guess. Yeah, whatever. And we'll see you guys later. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.